Hi everyone, happy Monday. I'm back after my hi Elizabeth, my banning last week, being caught up in the news thing. Hi Glenda, hi Elizabeth. All right. Yay, I can see me. I can see people watching this week. It was very daunting doing it last week and having nobody watching. Hi Julie, yeah, you're here. Hi Kerry. Yeah, after all these years, like when I first started doing Facebook Lives. Hi Megan. After all these years of doing Facebook Lives, when I first started, I was talking to myself until I've built up a bit of a following. Now loads of people watch. Hi, Nita. And then last week, to have nobody watching me again, I'm like, what's happened? Oh no, what's happened? And yeah, I got caught up in the Facebook Live. Oh, thanks, Julie. I haven't done it. I've just pinned it back this morning. But I've cut it all off a couple of weeks ago, but I haven't been on camera for a little while, and I thought, because seeing as I was off last week, well, I wasn't off, but I still did it last week, but no one saw me, so I thought I'd be on camera this week with no makeup, no hair done, but this is me. Yes, I did cut my hair, Megan. A couple of weeks ago I cut about that much off, so yes. Now, I have no lucky door prize, really, because there was no comments on my video last week. So, hi, Lisa. So, we're going to start the lucky door prizes again. So, to go into the draw for next week's lucky door prize, can you please comment, like, and share and on my video, and then I'll draw a winner for next week from this week's video. Hi Marnie. I have like RSI in my wrist, Elizabeth, and when I do too much over the weekends crafting, I used to get a lot when I did push-ups, because my little wrists cannot sustain the rest of my body weight when I'm doing push-ups. So yes, I have had a haircut, money, and it just aches. So I have a mouse pad with the gel insert underneath, and so my wrist sits on that. But the last couple of weeks, that's not been enough. I still get a really aching wrist, and it's very sore. So I need to assess what's happening, but we'll see. Thanks, guys. I'm glad to be back. So celebration's finished. It's all done, but that doesn't mean the catalogue's finished. So that's good. So you can still order anything from the January to June catalogue. And yeah, so I'm gonna flip you around and show you what I've been doing, and this might help explain the wrist, because I was a bit of a busy girl over the weekend. Let me twist this around. I'm trying to work out where this camera is on this phone. Hopefully that works. Yay. Right, where are we seeing? Here. Okay, so my BBB is waiting at the post office. Oh, nice, Julie, with the butterfly stuff. I showed that a couple of weeks ago. I haven't had a play with that yet. I needed to I'm having trouble tonight. I'll come back soon. Oh, that's all right. Kerry, I'll see you soon. So this was my class over the weekend. I had a DSP class and it was focusing on the True Love DSP. Now I had a few kits left over, so I decided to turn them all into Mother's Day cards because I'll donate a whole heap to the school for their Mother's Day stall. So I used a whole heap. So I used this. It was great, wasn't it, Elizabeth? I enjoyed it. I used this set for the insides of the cards. And then I used this set for You Are My Person. I used this set for Happy Mother's Day. This set for Happy Mother's Day as well. And then this set that also says Happy Mother's Day. So I've got a couple of different fronts, but this was the only set that I used in the middle. And my son goes to a Christian-based school, so I finally used this stamp set, because this stamp in this set, I've never used this stamp before, because I don't have... I find unless you get a special order for religious cards, they don't seem to sell as well as other cards, so I haven't used it as much in the past. So what I've done, I've turned all of these into Mother's Day cards, and I've stamped the inside, and then I've just stamped on a piece of copy paper what is on the inside. And so, yes, I've got 6 cards that are all this, but they've all got different insides. And then this one that says You're My Person. And then that says on the inside, You have truly been a shining example to me. This one. So I had a couple of kits left over, so I've used all them up and made these. And then this afternoon, while I was kind of getting ready for this, I've then cut a whole heap. I've cut the other pieces out of the True Love DSP, and I'm going to replicate this card, but now in different colours. So I've chosen yellow, orange, and purple, and I've used all the other backgrounds. And then last night, which is another reason why my wrist is killing me today, was because I sat there and fussy cut all these flowers out. So this one I've used the big flower, but then I decided there was this sheet which is the stripes, which I don't mind the stripes, but this flower's not too bad to fussy cut, so I sat there and fussy cut them all out. And I've now used a full pack of the True Love DSP, and we'll probably get about 40, maybe 50 cards. So yeah, I like these ones are pink because that was part of the kit, the class kit, because when I do a class kit, I try and keep it to the one color so that if people have to buy an ink pad, they don't have to buy 3 different ink pads type thing. So I try and keep my classes to the same color scheme. So if they don't have that particular ink pad, they only have to buy 1 ink pad. So it was black and white, and then the color was Flirty Flamingo. So that's why they're all pink. But I thought, well, I could recreate that card and do all these different colors in case, because pink's not my most favorite color. My favorite color is orange. So I've decided to do orange, yellow, and purple. And I chose those colors for the colors of the blends, really. The blend colors that I've got to color the flowers. And that's how I've chosen those. If I had other blends or whatever, you could choose them. And I did make this one, which showed you, hi Christine, did show you that you didn't have to actually color the flowers in. it still looks pretty good just with the black and white flowers. You didn't have to colour them in. I do think the pop of colour makes it a bit brighter, but yeah, you didn't have to colour them in. So this was the class over the weekend that I had. I've got my upcoming classes are listed on my website if you want to go there, which is vicscraftycreations.com. And they're all listed there. I've just posted out everybody's class kit for the one on the 13th of March, which is for thing. I made 20 cards yesterday and today. Oh, that's good effort, Angie. Like the black and white. It's stunning, isn't it? Well, this was the class that Christine, and I've just changed up. So this was the class over the weekend. And the paper is black and white, which is really nice, and it's very simple. And then I've just added the pops of colour and stuff. So, and then I've changed the cards that I made over the weekend to be all Mother's Day cards for the kids at school. So this background is a lot lighter than my other backgrounds because then I've re-inked the stamp ink pad, and it got a bit darker, but that's okay. They still work well. It's just a lot darker than I think. Oh, that's so nice, Elizabeth. Thank you. They are fun. I like the classes a lot. So, and if you can't make the time or the date of the class, the videos are recorded, so then you can watch them back in your own time. So that's good. And then so tonight, what I've also done over the weekend, well, last weekend I think I did, I went through the whole catalogue, and because each year we have 5 new in colours that are released. So there's a new annual catalogue that is going to come out in June. So with that will come 5 new colours, which means, unfortunately, 5 current colours have to retire. So the 5 in colours from 2019 to 2021 will retire. So they are, I've got 2 of them here, Rococo Rose, Seaside Spray, Purple Posy. I'll get the others out. So these colours are the colours that will retire. And when the retiring list comes out, which is very shortly, that it's usually around Easter time, a bit after Easter, because Easter changes every year. These are the first things that go. So the ink pads, the re-inkers, the blends, and the cardstock. So what I've done is I did a bit of a stock take of what's in my current stash of everything, and realized the design series papers that I've got that I haven't used or have a lot of left using these in colors. So one of them is the beautiful Hydrangea Haven set. And I've got it here. So I've only just got this because this is current in the catalogue, in the January to June catalogue. And this is really, really pretty. It's a good idea to stock up, Julie. It's a great idea. I know, I love Seaside Spray and Rococo Rose and Pretty Peacock. Seriously, I've taken the plastic off it, but I am dead set certain I've never used it as an ink pad. And Purple Posy was the ink pad that they had a lot of trouble with, that wouldn't stamp properly. Now, my first ink pad was terrible and I got it replaced, but this second one, I've not had any issues with it. But because they had so many issues with it, I've not used it very much. But this is the paper for Hydrangea Hill, and it's got the Seaside Spray and it's got Purple Posy in it. So I thought that I would use this. Well, I tried to post your mum's present today, Elizabeth, and the envelope that Adrian got me is still too small. So I'll have to wait till tomorrow. So it's going to be even later than I thought. So this is really pretty, but if you're going to use it, or if you want it, then when you buy it, you need to really think about purchasing the cardstock that matches, because come June, there won't be any Seaside Spray or Purple Posy cardstock left, because it will retire. I need this stamp set as well. I'm not very organised tonight. Been busy. So I've gone through my stash and cut up everything. I've just paid for the March class. Oh, that's all right, Kerry, thank you. So this is the stamp set that goes in that range as well. I really like this. I ummed and ahed about this because every time I see a flower stamp set, it's how many flowers can one person have. But what sold me is the sentiments on this. Again, I really like the font and the words, and I don't know, I just had to have it. So I ummed and ahed about it for a long time, but it's in my stash. So I've just cut up my my Rococo Rose and my Seaside Spray and go, okay, well, I've got like 4 card bases left, but I've got so much paper left. So my order that went in on Friday was more Rococo Rose and Seaside Spray to cater for the fact that I've still got DSP with those colours. So tonight we're going to make these cards, because I also go through my ribbons and do the same thing. Work out which ribbons. Now I don't know the retiring list. I will in a few weeks, but I don't know what it is now. So this is purely on speculation. But this ribbon has Purple Posy in it. So I'm pretty sure this ribbon's going to go. This ribbon is Purple Posy, so it will go. And the cardstock here is Purple Posy. So this is in a 3-pack in the pattern, Playing with Patterns combo or something. And this ribbon I turned into Rococo Rose because it's this ribbon and I've coloured it with blends. Because I've got so much of this ribbon and not much Rococo Rose ribbon, and it's light enough that I've just coloured it and you wouldn't even know. So these are the cards we're going to make tonight. And that's kind of the reasons why we're going to make those cards, is to use up paper before it retires and I'm left with all this stuff. And I just love these pastel pearls. And I would love for them to carry over, but unless we're going to keep Seaside, because these are Seaside Spray and these are Rococo Rose, these won't carry over. So this kind of looks like Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape. So these 2 colours are staying, but these 2, unless we have a colour refresh, which I've not heard about, so it would be a surprise to me, I don't think these are going to carry over either. So I've got me a couple of packets of those for my stash because I just love them. They're so pretty. All right, I've got ribbons everywhere because this is all I've got left of this purple ribbon now. I've got 2 bits here. So let's start making the cards. And because I prepped this a little while ago, I can't even remember which cards and what. So I'm going to have to put my samples up here. That goes on there. This one goes on that one. And that goes on there. Right, so we'll start with the simple stamping. You can have too many flowers, Megan. I just don't seem to use them very much. I'm like, how many flowers can one person have? But, so I'm going to stamp in, this one I'm going to stamp in Gorgeous Grape, just to make it a bit darker, even though this cardstock is Highland Heather, just to make it a little bit darker and prominent. And we're going to do The World is Better Because of You. No, we're going to do that on another card. So we're going to do You Make Me Smile. Hi, Marie. So we're going to, now I've got my Stampin' Pierce mat underneath me. So with photopolymer stamps, you want to make sure that you've got your Pierce mat underneath you to give you a better stamping experience. Now this one is just plain and simple stamping. So I've just got my card base here. Gonna get my seal. Me either, but they're pretty to look at. They are pretty to look at. Oh, come on. And see, the paper does all the work with this one. Don't have to do a thing. So we've stamped. Now I am going to add a ribbon. Now with this, I think I'll do a ribbon. Now what, hi Christian. What I've been doing with this ribbon, so these bows that I've been tying here have got like two bows in them and one loop. They do use up a little bit more ribbon, but given my excess amount of ribbon and the fact that I want to use them up, I'm quite happy with this. So I'll show you how to do that. I watched a YouTube video, I cannot remember the lady's name, but she was very, very good at it. To tie it with your fingers. So you don't need any special tools or anything. Just need a bit of ribbon. And these two fingers need to be separated here. And then you put your thumb with your ring finger and hold this in place here. So this needs to be sturdy. And you go in and under, in and under. So you do that as many times as you want loops. So that's 2 loops. And then you go over and pull that through, and then you need to come back under and tie that knot. So over that loop and pull that. So I now actually find this quite easy. The biggest thing is sometimes I tie the loops a bit tight and my fat fingers, and I struggle to get the loops off like I'm having issue right now. But other than that, it's pretty good. And then you get your 2 loops and you have nice ribbon, and then you just cut tails to match the length. And that's your bow. So get your glue dot. Now it is a bit of a bulkier bow, but I'm trying to use up my ribbon and I just think it's really nice effect. So you can do 3 loops. Anything more than 3 loops is a bit much, but I'll show you a 3 loop one shortly. Where's my take my pick tool? Then I'm going to get some of these little gems, these pastel pearls, with my take my pick tool. I watched a great YouTube video. I can't take credit for it. This lady did it, but you know what? I've tried using a bow maker and all this other tools in the past, and I could not get the bloody thing. Watched that video and I'm like, I've had my fingers the whole time. I didn't need to purchase all these other tools to use it, and yeah, it works a treat. So that's the first card done. Now you could, because it's a bit of a, it's not really dark, but it is a darker card, you could add a layer of white inside to finish it off. But you can do that on your cards. Now this card, this is the die. So this set comes with dies. Oh, thanks, Lisa. So these are the stamps. So it's a massive stamp set because you get two things of stamps. And then these are the dies. So this die here is this die. Yeah, you could put Purple Posy inside too, Megan, that would work. I've just sat there and kind of poked up these flowers because when it comes out of the die, it's a bit flat, just to give it a bit more dimension. But as you kind of work around, some of the other ones get a bit flat, especially because I've got such fat fingers, I can't do it all. Then you got this border die which cuts out simple individual flowers, some sentiment dies, the big flower image, and then the leaves. So it's a great set. Now with this one, we've got, this is going to be a, oh, that's why it's not happening. So this is going to be a fun fold card, and you just need a normal card base. I've done it so that it's the portrait way. So you score at, or you cut the paper down at the lengthways way. And I need my trimmer. All those Mother's Day cards are now just on the floor. And what you need to do is turn your card around and cut at 3. Yeah, cut at 3 inches off. And then that should foot, no, I'll have to adjust that. Cut at 3 1/4 maybe. Just going to trim down that even further. So I've cut that at 3 inches off. It doesn't really matter where you cut it. On other cards that I've made, I've cut it at 3 inches. Then this piece I twist and turn this way and stick that back on the card, and that ends up being a fun fold. In this case, this is going to be, all right, Marnie, have fun. This piece is just going to be scrap, which is fine. We can use that somewhere else. And I'm going to add another piece to it. So I've just trimmed that down because I've cut that different to the way I cut the paper. So this piece goes on here, which we can get our seal. So this is the Purple Posy colour. And then I really liked this flower. It's a bit busy, but we're going to cover a bit of it up. So I thought it worked well. And I really like this side too, but I wanted these flowers. You know, on some paper packs you only like one side of the paper and then others you like both sides. This is one where I like both sides in most cases. And that just fits there on the inside. Oh, nice, Julie. And then this piece, so this is going to have 2 folds in it. So this piece opens up like that. And so this is going to be stuck, and then that folds down, that folds like that. So that's what this fold is. And let's just bring this measurement in. This is 3 inches wide and 8¼ So this is the length of a piece of cardstock, and I've just cut 3 inches off it and doing that so that can get stuck down. In here. Now there's kind of no right or wrong how far you go, just try and make it even. And straight. That's not real straight, but it's down there now. It looks straight from here, but it's not straight on the inside. Now we've got 2 pieces of white, which are just 1/8 of an inch smaller than those panels. And did I stamp on the inside of that? Yes. So on the inside one, we're going to stamp, and I've just used, you can either use these little flowers, or these ones here look a bit like butterflies. One of them looks a bit like butterflies when they're on, but I think they're all supposed to be flowers. But I thought one looked more butterfly-y than the other. Now I've just got a scratch piece of paper here next to me. Because when you're stamping on your pierce mat, you want to have that underneath your scratch paper. You want to have your scratch paper over your pierce mat when you're going to be stamping off to the side, which is what we're doing here, because you don't want to end up with ink on your pierce mat. Okay, so that's the inside done. Now, the outside is this piece. Now let's just put these stamps away. Now I don't know what this stamp was supposed to be for. I haven't even really checked out a lot of the samples in the catalogue, because I only seem to do that when I get stuck for inspiration. This kind of just all came to me. So this stamp, I don't know what it's supposed to be for. It's a bit of a blob on here. I've used it, you can see here, as a background, but I've stamped off. So when you're stamping off and you've got your pierce mat, you want to make sure you're stamping off on your pierce mat so that it's the same pressure, and then stamp onto your card, because you don't want to be off center or anything with your pierce mat, because then you're going to get different pressures and colors on here. And I just need to get my green ink pad out after this, because I haven't got that ready. I thought I had all my ink pads out, but I don't. So there's that one. We'll just get Pear Pizzazz. And we'll do the same thing with the leaf stamped image. And then just stamp off, because we don't want it too dark. Stamp on. So when you stamp off and then stamp on, it's called second generation stamping. Okay. And then we can put that away. And now we need to get, and it's okay that it hasn't stamped properly, because if you look here, it's one of those distinctive stamps where you're not going to get the proper pressure. It's to give you multiple colours and stuff. It does a lot of the work that I can't do with shading and everything else. I'm getting more and more used to distinctive stamps. They're a bit hard for me to get used to start with, but I'm liking that they do all the work for you. And then we're just going to stamp, and I'm going to do it in the Gorgeous Grape, just to give it a darker purple for the sentiment. And this one here, try and line that up on your grid paper. The world is better because of you. So did we all have a nice weekend? Most of mine was spent reading articles on the GFC collapse and how we could have predicted it if we use this theory that some people agree with and other people don't, and it was putting me to sleep. I was not enjoying myself. So that gets stuck down on top. There. Open that up, and this goes on the inside. No, assessments are not fun. And I've got 3 assignments with this subject, so it's very assessment heavy, I think. But anyway. I just want the bloody thing over. So that's that. Now, what else? Oh, we've got this. So the die that we use, that's obviously going to go over there. Now, I just stuck this down with dimensionals. I didn't care that you might be able to see them underneath. I kind of figured your eyes would be distracted with everything else going on, that you weren't going to look too hard in here. So that goes on there. And then I'll show you that bow again. So this one I've got plenty of ribbon here, and I'll show you the triple bow this time. So wherever you start your thumb with your ring finger, that's how long your first tail is going to be. Now this ribbon is really soft and really pretty, but it's not the greatest for the ribbon because it's a bit soft. You want to, this ribbon is fabulous for it. This ribbon I think is a little bit too soft, but we will do it. Okay, so the wider apart these fingers, the bigger your bow loops are going to be. Now I've got short fat fingers, so I can't have my fingers too far apart because they just don't go. But sit them where they're going to be comfortable, and that's the first loop, the second loop, the third loop, and then you need to bring that over, under, bring that all through. So you would cut that ribbon off, but again, this is the end of the roll, so I'm using it until it's done, and then poke that back through. And then you want to make sure that's in the center, and then you kind of just pull. But with this ribbon, because it's so soft and a bit flimsy, don't pull too hard because you might actually split the ribbon. And you kind of get that with the sheer ribbons as well. So you just need to be a bit careful. Now that tail's too long, so I'm just going to trim that off there, and then trim that off there, and then I've got enough there for probably a double bow, not a triple bow left. And then you just fluff out your bows and try and get that to face the right way. Done. So once you've had a bit of practice, and if you get a sturdy ribbon, you can practice and untie it and practice and tie it back up again and keep practicing on the same ribbon. You're not going to be able to do that with this playing with patterns ribbon here, because it's just so soft and delicate. But this ribbon, if you've got this you could practice with all day. I can't even remember what that's called. Tricolor purple or three purple ribbon. I don't know. And then adding these pearls. I just love these. I have another pack in my stash already. So that's our second card done. And then our last card is this one. And this one's just really a sentiment again, because the paper does all the work. And we're gonna stamp on this. And this time I'm gonna use the other flowers. They're so pretty, aren't they, Julie? I love them. I'm gonna get Highland Heather, which is the lighter purple, to do the flowers. Oh, I've got these dimensional backings everywhere. And stamping in the corners there. And then I'm going to get the darker one, so the Gorgeous Grape. Just like having the sentiments stick out or stand out. So and this one, what's that say? To an incredible woman, you are capable of amazing things. We might do that one. I haven't used this one yet. So you could use some of these for Mother's Day then too. Or International Women's Day, that's coming up. That's going to be on Friday. You are capable of amazing things. All right, so pop that away. Pop that on there. And then it's just a matter of putting this card together. So this piece goes on this piece. This piece. Now I like Rococo Rose, but the back side of this looks a bit of a funny colour Rococo Rose, so I like the purple sides better. Oh, I've got adhesive on my paper. Now I've just cut, you can see so I don't waste cardstock, I've cut this stitched So Sweetly die out of the base of here. So that you just, because you're going to cover that up. Nobody's going to see. Don't waste your cardstock. And then stick adhesive on that. Make sure that's the right way. Whoops. That's a bit crooked, but... And then we're going to get dimensionals on the back of that. It's the only thing about this wrist guard, because I can't twist my wrist. I'm finding that I do tend to stick things a bit crooked. But my wrist doesn't ache when I wear it, which is good. So, and then we just pop that up now towards the top a bit, because this sentiment here does take up a bit of room. Now you could use a smaller die if you wanted to. I just wanted something a bit different. But the sentiment's quite small, so you could just use a smaller die, because this does overlap just a bit on there. I want the 2 pearls. Oh, come on, lift up. On there. And then this ribbon. So we'll do another double bow, because you can do a single bow like this as well. And that then gets you the single bow. So you can tie single bows like that as well. And when you go to pull it apart, you need to untie the bow, because you'll end up with a knot from where you've done that. So that's why you need to make sure that you've got a sturdy ribbon if you're going to sit there and practice. Originally, you can't do it with that purple posy one, because it will end up splitting, because it's such a soft and delicate ribbon. But you go around twice, then through the loop. This is going to be quite tight on my fingers here. Pull that through, and then it's going to be a bit of a mission to get this off. I can feel, because it's a bit tight, but you will live and learn and work out what works for you and your size fingers. But my fingers are really fat, so that goes there. So the only downside to tying bows like this is that you can't keep it on the roll of ribbon while you're doing it, which is how I've done other rolls, so that you don't get these wasted bits. You do need to cut a length, but you kind of get used to knowing how much ribbon you need for single, double or triple bows, to work out how much to cut. Now, because I wanted to make sure I used this whole ribbon, I've pulled what I had left off the roll, and that's why I've got it here, because I'm like, I'm pretty certain, because the ribbon that actually comes in this suite is it's a gorgeous grape organza ribbon, which is really pretty, but I don't know whether that will retire, because gorgeous grape colour is staying in. This has purple posy in it. I am pretty certain this is going to retire. So that's why I'm using this ribbon before the gorgeous grape ribbon. Yeah. So, because the ribbon that comes in this suite is just divine as well, but I haven't started using it because I need to make room for the other new ribbons, which I'm obviously going to have to buy. Thanks, ladies. So that's our 3 cards done tonight. Let me just try and make some room. Thank you, ladies. They might not look fat on camera, but I feel like I've got the biggest, fattest fingers, and they're so short. So this one, and this one. So we kind of did simple stamping, and then both these other ones use die cuts. So when you use die cuts, they're considered avid. But with this one, if you didn't die cut the flower on there, this could be a casual stamper, and then this would be an avid stamper. But I think this needed something, so yeah. So this suite is still available, and it's going to be available until June, but the coordinating colours with it are Seaside Spray and Rococo Rose, and once the retiring list is announced, those colours will sell out, and they usually sell out quite quickly. So if you want this, I suggest you get in early before that retiring list comes out, which will be a couple of weeks. It usually comes out around Easter. But every year Easter is different, so don't know when that will be. But yeah, thank you for watching and glad you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all next week. Bye.